It's on now.
All right. Okay, so here's a memo that says how that Judge Colley, and I don't know if he's a judge. I don't know how all this legal stuff works. I'm literally a geologist. All I know is this. I'm one of those people that I can tell fact from subjective thought or opinion, and that's my gift. I can tell, like, oh, that's real, and that's somebody just saying they think that's real. I mean, anyway, so this Clay Colley, I went in there, and my divorce attorney put this in my memo, and he says that I insisted on telling Clay Colley about my husband's autism and my need to bring this to light. And this issue was really important to me because I was having trouble communicating with my husband, and I really wanted this thing called co-parently, which is mandatory in California, where parents can work together on a calendar and stuff, and it makes communication easy in a divorce. And every person I mentioned to for the past 4 years has said no and not let me use it. And I've asked this from every divorce professional, every therapist, everybody, co-parently. So anyway, my attorney's shocked that I'm saying I need to communicate with my husband when I use this. And then he says it was really an out there experience. I did not have the opportunity to talk to the client about Colley's comments because I ran out of the building following conciliation. And I didn't run out of the building. This is how they talk about you. When we got the order, she indicated this was a good thing. She felt that the child went to school for 2 weeks at Pickering Valley. The father would see how angry the child was at him and then allow the child to go to East Ward. Clearly, her losing the argument over where the child should go to school was a stressor, which may create more problems. Now, how am I saying? I'm saying I'm fine. And all I was saying to him at this point was, we've got to figure out transportation. We've got to get a schedule together with my husband to figure out who's driving her. And I said that all summer. We need to figure out who's going to drive her. If my daughter switches back to the other school, that's fine. I can't drive her because I want to get a job. I have been prevented from being employed for 10 years. I'm ready to get a job. I was not ready to drive my daughter twice a day to a school 45 minutes away when I bought a house where she could walk to school 2 minutes away. If my husband wants her at the school 45 minutes away, he can drive her. That was the point. But since my father had talked to my husband's attorney and made so many lies and said they're trying to put me in a sane asylum, this man was getting reports. He wasn't calling me. He was talking to my husband's attorney. So this is the line that kills me. Karen recommended the Rockford Center in Wilmington or Northwest Psychiatric Center in Philadelphia. So I say I'm fine, my husband can, daughter can, and they're picking psychiatric centers to put me in. I'm not paying this man to look for psychiatric centers to put me in. I'm okay with my daughter being moved to school. I have a transportation issue, but he's saying that me losing an argument is a stressor, which he's creating more problems. Okay, this brings me to the point where I met her this afternoon. I brought Karen Carter along for 2 reasons. Now, Karen Carter's different from this Karen up here. This Karen up here, who's recommending the Rockford Center in Wilmington or Northwest Psychiatric in Philadelphia, is my husband's attorney recommending this for me. The same woman up above who thinks it's ridiculous my family didn't send me away already. So since my family hasn't already 302 me, now they're going to try to do it. All right, so here's the point where he's meeting me this afternoon. He brings along Karen Carter for 2 reasons. Once, he wanted Karen to help me prepare the answer to the emergency petition for special relief. Also, I wanted Karen, with her nursing background, to observe the client and give me her opinion as what needed to be done. So what needs to be done about me, his client? And I'll tell you, I went in there to fire him because he'd already lost my house. And so the email I had sent into him prior to this says, please get the file together. You know, I want all the notes together because I was going to come in and collect the file and fire him. All right, so then let's see how that goes. It says it here. All right. I stated you just fired me, and then I said, no, I'm firing you, I'm rehiring her. I told her I could not work with her, I quit. She told me she wanted the file. The file was right in front of me. I calmly reached for the file and started to say, I'll cull through it and give you everything that's yours. Okay, when he says he's going to cull through the file and give me everything that's hers, he's going to take out all the notes to my husband's attorney. He's going to take out all the notes where he talks behind my back. But since I fired him, and he didn't have time to cull the file, I got his thoughts. Okay, so then he calmly reached for the file. That's how he writes about himself. As I said that, she lunged across the table and body wrapped the file. I don't even know what body wrapping it looks like. Yanked it backwards. She screamed again, I paid for that file. She had an incredibly frightening look on her face. She started to perceive to shuffle all the papers that were on the table together with the complete file and started towards the door. That's terrifying. I grabbed a file and started for the door, and it was mine. She told me she would pay me for what she owed me and then open the door. I told her I would walk her out of the building. I was fearful of what she might do on her way out. I weigh 107 pounds. As we walked out through the atrium, she had nothing but nice things to say about me. She said I was a really nice person. She liked me a lot. She would pay me my money. She just didn't think I was right lawyer because this was a real complicated case. She was fighting for all women. I simply opened the door and showed her out. Like, I'm trying to fight because there's other women married to men with autism. And the women married to men with autism, we don't necessarily want to fight them in court to the death. We want to support our husbands with autism, be the best fathers they can be. And for me personally, I have a son on the spectrum, and I love these guys. I went back and met with Karen. Karen was a little shook by the whole thing. She told me when the client came across the table, she was thinking she was going to have to get up and call 911. Because you can call 911 and say, "Cops, I'm being fired." She briefly mentioned that her opinion, this woman was clearly bipolar with rapidly cycling or firing you. It didn't say that. She pointed out how she never looked up when she was speaking, and Karen thought she had a death look when she yanked the file back. Okay, when I'm firing someone, I don't necessarily look up when I'm speaking because I don't have any more respect for them anymore. I wanted to get my file and get out. I was busy. I had to get a new attorney. Death look. We debated, oh, look at this, look. We debated whether or not I should be calling the police on a 302 commitment. So for me going in, firing him, and taking my file, saying, "I'll pay you," walking out saying, "You're nice," they're debating whether they should call me to put me in an insane asylum. Because they'd already picked 2 of them out. Okay. We both agreed that she never made a threat to anyone in our presence or to ourselves. She had tried to explain away her suicide threats as her fear of driving and her fear because of her anxiety. She would drive her car unintentionally into a tree. But we're going to accuse her of suicide because that's how we're going to put her in the 302 situation. Then I left a message with Karen Reynolds that I had been fired. I spoke with the receptionist, Barbara, told her that if Kristine Smith returned and if she showed any threatening behavior, she was to call 911 or to push the panic button, if not direct her quickly into a conference room, close the door and get me. Ah! That's terrifying. That's my attorney that I paid for. And then when I got my thing back, he spent hours looking for psych wards to put me in and didn't spend a minute looking for a psychiatrist for me to look at to get the psych report that Officer Rass asked for. Mary Kate, what do you think? Just say what you think, Mary Kate.
Screwed up.
Why would anyone pay their own attorney to look for insane asylums to put them in? And why is my own attorney getting his reports from my dad and my husband's attorney when he's supposedly representing me because I'm the one paying for him? Because he thought I was mentally ill from the beginning. And they don't have to tell you if they think you're crazy. See, and that's why I want to know if people believe in psychiatry or not, because it's a code. It's like, hey, are you a Scientologist? I mean, I want to know. I want to know what shit they believe in. It's crazy. That was the best one. That felt so good.
That was good.
No, that